Date for those of you that have it. It's going to be an introduction for those of you that don't. For those of you that don't, I would like for you to go to your App Store or your Google Play and simply just download My Legal Shield. So what we're basically going to give you is access to top-ranked law firms nationwide. Everyone in here say for me, tap that app. All I want you to do is get in the habit of just tapping that app whenever you need to. Meaning if you wake up in the morning, you have a question about real estate, tap that app. You have a question about mortgage, tap that app. You have a question about divorce, tap the app. Bankruptcy, DUI, anything, tap the app. Calling to our law firm, we're going to have the right attorney call you back within 8 business hours. Those attorneys are also going to write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. So I'll give you an example. When my insurance company decided they didn't want to fix my roof, all I simply did was tap my app. Called into my law firm, told them what the situation is. They wrote a letter on my behalf. Amazingly, a week later, that same insurance decides to send me a check to fix the roof. It was the power of an attorney writing a letter on my behalf. How many of you here signed something you ended up regretting signing later? Cell phone contract, gym membership, timeshare, right? Marriage certificate. I mean, all these crazy contracts we got out here, right? You got to read the fine print till death do you part. You got to read the fine print, right? The good news about it is anything you're signing, look, I definitely want to make sure that you know that you have the option to simply tap your app, talk to the attorney about it, and fax that contract over to them. They'll review that contract or document for you and let you know if there's anything in there you shouldn't sign. So for example, I bought a car for my son. I decided to fax the contract over to the law firm. The attorney looks over the paperwork and tells me, Mr. Edwards, tell him you don't want to pay the $1,500 prep fee. So because I told that to the dealer that day, my attorney says I shouldn't pay a $1,500 prep fee, what did they do? Drop the $1,500. Saved me $1,500 just because I consulted with an attorney. But I was curious. I called the law firm back. I said, look, how'd you get them to take $1,500 off the bill? They say, hey, sir, in most states, car dealers can charge anywhere from $50 up to $2,500 for something they call a prep fee. I says, what's that? He said, well, basically they wash them back in the car and bring it around front. It was a $1,500 car wash. People finance that every day. The good news is you don't have to worry about ever being in that position again, because from this day forward, you too now can do what? Tap that, right? Also, how many of you here agree that we pay too much for car insurance? Is it fair to say that if you get a speeding ticket, your car insurance is going to go? We don't want that to happen to you. So another thing that we have here is a great feature. If you ever get pulled over, you can still tap that app after that officer leaves, take a picture of that speeding ticket, send it into our law firm, and we'll have an attorney scheduled to go to court for you. Their main goal is to make sure there are no points on your license, and if possible, reduce or eliminate the fine. Also, what we also want to do for you is to prepare your will. A will is a living letter for your family. Meaning if something was to happen to you, at least they know what your wishes are. Meaning where you want your kids to go, where you want your assets to go. Also, there's a thing there called a living will. Meaning if you were in an accident and your life was on life support, you get to make the decision. Your family don't have to argue about that. Simply fill that document out on your phone. Once you've completed it, hit send. The law firm will have that drafted and back to you within 10 days. We also give you access to our Members Perks program. How many of you here like discounts? Here's what I want you all to think of real quickly. How many of you watched the movie in the last 30 days? How many of you ate at a restaurant in the last 30 days? How many of you have cell phone services with the major corporations, AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, Sprint, right? How many of you travel to hotels, stay overnight, rent cars, right? Any of you shop at DSW, Men's Warehouse, Best Buy, Target? Think about everything that I just mentioned. Add up the dollar amount that you spent over the last month with all of those locations or activities. And if 10% of that was greater than $19.95 a month or $26 a month, I think this would be something you'll see value in. We give you access to over 400 plus vendors. So we give you discounts on hotels, discounts on travel, discounts at Men's Warehouse, discounts at Office Depot. I save anywhere between $50 to over $200 to $300 a month just by using my Members Perks that comes with my Legal Shield benefit. The last button you'll see there is that red button. Everybody here has Miranda rights, right?
Yeah.
You have the right to remain what?
Silent.
You have the right to call your
attorney.
Here's my question to you. Which attorney do you currently have assigned for your family to call? Meaning you have the right, but you don't have someone available to fill the right for you. If you're a Legal Shield member, and those that raised their hands and said that they were, all they simply have to do is what? Tap that red button there, and within 20 seconds we have an attorney on the line. So when my son called me when I was in Chicago and he was back home in Atlanta and said, Dad, I just got into an accident and I ran into the back of someone, I was easily able to say, hey son, grab your phone and go ahead and tap the
How?
Call the law firm. He had an attorney stay on the line with him and talk him through that entire situation. It didn't cost me anything out of pocket, but it gave me peace of mind. I knew that my spouse and my family would know when I saw this benefit that something like that would be of value for them. So I signed up immediately. All right, so that's the great thing about our benefit. The good news is that benefit is provided for you here in Nevada for only $26 a month. All right, in a group setting, whatever your group rate is here, that's the rate that it is, right? Next thing we also do is provide identity theft protection. Identity theft is becoming the fastest growing crime in America. They say 1 out of every 3 Americans will be a victim of identity theft. So what we've done is partner with a company called Crow, to where we're going to give unlimited monitoring, data, and alerts for you. So if anyone or anything inquires into your information, you're notified immediately. But most of all, we do the restoration work. Meaning if you become a victim of identity theft, we have a licensed investigator that will be assigned to you to do whatever it takes for as long as it takes to restore your identity back to its original form. And that identity theft plan is available for the entire family for an additional $18.95. But if you add it to your group plan, to your legal plan, it's a discount. You're looking at about $33.90. Okay? So the good news is, on the application in front of you, I need you all to do me a favor real quick. Right under today's date, you see where it says the one-time $10 enrollment fee? Just grab your pen for me and draw a line through that. We're going to waive that enrollment fee today. Mr. Murph's a hard customer, boy, I tell you. All right, so just waive that $10 enrollment fee. Go ahead down there where box number 1, where it says information. I just need your name. I need the last 4 digits of your social and your date of birth. Where it says co-applicant, that is your spouse or significant other, right? Domestic partner, you choose. Just remember, you got to pick one. All right? Make sure we have a valid email address for you and a good mailing address, so when your will questionnaire is completed, I can make sure it comes to you correctly, okay? Box number 2 is where it's going to list your dependents. Make sure you list the kids. We cover all of the kids up until the age of 26, whatever the age is here in Nevada. So make sure you list all of your kids. On the back side, I'm going to need 2 signatures. If it's in a payroll deduct, I can say I need 2 signatures. One for me, and then on the bottom half of that application, you'll see a signature there for your payroll department. If it's bank draft, I say, look, on the back side, you'll see there are 2 options there. You can do it by bank draft. I use bank draft because my credit cards sometimes expire, and I would never want to be without my Legal Shield membership. So I would prefer bank draft, right? If you don't have that information with you today, option number 2 would be credit or debit card, and you can always update that with member services if that ever expires. Go ahead and get that information filled out. I'm going to need your signature at the end. My business partner, George, and I are going to be here. We'll be in the back to answer any questions. Today, you'll receive your will questionnaire and a temporary membership kit. So in this packet here, I'll have 2 will questionnaires for you and your spouse. I have some car decals to make sure that if you ever get pulled over, that officer knows you have immediate access to a law firm. And I'm also going to have your instructions on how to upload and activate your membership and get your membership started immediately and start getting advantage of the discounts. Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Look, Mr. Murph, thank you so much for giving me some time here today, sir. I want to thank you. And for everybody else, we look forward to having you fill out your applications and bring them to us at the back. Is that okay?
Yes.
You all have a great day.
Thank you.